from Yoonyverse, and welcome back to another video of mine. And for the past couple of weeks I've been filming in Europe and I've been getting so much love on my French apartment tour. So today I'm going to do my Italian apartment tour. Ciao! Alright guys, so before I start more into the video, a little disclaimer. Alright, I'm just gonna set it out straight. So this is my apartment just for 1 week. So I'm actually visiting Rome at this time of the year as my baby moon. Baby moon, I don't know if you guys have this terminology, but in Korea we say it's like baby honeymoon. So you have your little trip to sort of compensate the time that you are pregnant, because right after you deliver you will no longer be able to go on holidays or have like a little freedom for yourself. So it's really popular to go on a trip until you can take an airplane or you're more comfortable to travel, and you go on a vacation to treat yourself with your loved ones, and that's what's called a baby moon. So I'm actually doing my baby moon in Italy. And so for this week I'm staying in Rome, and I fell upon this really beautiful apartment in the heart of Rome, and I thought like I would do this apartment tour with you guys so that you guys can get a little idea of what a Roman Italian apartment looks like, and I'm going to show you around. So let's get to it. Ciao. Allora. So I'm going to talk first off a little bit about the location. When it comes down to apartments, nowhere in the world I think location is the key, and it is so important in terms of deciding your rent, your lifestyle, and your overall like sort of success of choosing an apartment. Because yes, what's inside the apartment is so important, but what is around the apartment and what you are able to do because you live in that area is so important to your life in general. And so first off, I'm going to definitely talk about the location. My little Italian apartment is on this road called Via del Babuino, and I actually found this on Airbnb, and it was described as like some apartment on the Spanishsteps. And I actually had no idea because first off, like Airbnb doesn't give you the exact address right away until your booking is confirmed. But second of all, I know that I'm talking about the subject of locations right now, but I love looking at the photos and just feeling like I want to be in that like environment. I want to be in that place, and that's what really draws me to take the apartment. And this, like this lighting, all this decoration was the thing that really got me. So I chose this apartment, but it turns out that Via del Babuino was like the perfect location. So first off, that road is actually a high street filled with luxury boutiques. So like 2 minutes away from here, there are like 2 stores of Chanel boutique. And then like 3 minutes away from here, there's a Dior boutique. There is like all these Italian luxury brands, French luxury brands on this road. And so not that like I'm gonna go out and just go into Chanel and buy something every single day, but it's more like because it's like a luxury high street, it is not as populated as a street which is behind, which is more filled with stores that are more popular like Sephora, H&M, Zara, all these stores. And so it's filled with people all the time, and I just don't feel like I want to live in a neighborhood where it might be noisy and like be filled with people. Whereas this road, it's so clean, it's so beautiful to walk, and it is so much more quiet. And so it was the perfect location for an apartment to be situated in. But there's more. So apparently that Spanishsteps was where Audrey Hepburn ate her little gelato in the movie Roman Holidays and met that guy on the Vespa. And that was just like 5 minutes away from here. I just discovered that yesterday. And we walked there, I was like, cool, this is right there. And I am here for a week, but I'm also kind of like a tourist, so I do want to explore places, but I don't want to like have to drive somewhere or take an Uber. I want to be able to walk and just like discover the neighborhood, and then boom, there's like monuments. And this location is perfect for that. For example, like the Spanishsteps was like 5 minutes away. And then that famous fountain where if you throw in a coin, then you are supposed to come back to that coin. I actually threw in a coin into that fountain, which is called Trevi Fountain, like almost 20 years ago or maybe more. And I'm actually back. And so that fountain, which is also a very touristy spot, but somewhere you do want to visit and actually take a snap, which I did as well yesterday, that was like 50 minutes away from here on foot. And then there's also that Colosseum where it's like the huge round ruin where they used to have like gladiator fighting and all these criminal trials or whatever that is really famous to visit in Rome. That was like 25 minutes away on foot. It was super hot to get there, but it was super wonderful that it was just there. And right before getting into the Colosseum, there was that huge monument, and I completely forgot the name of it, but it's where you have like a huge crossing of all these cars, but right behind it, it's like a huge like Roman structure of really beautiful like Greek columns where you can go in. And it is true that like in Rome, like coronavirus was still such a big issue, so everywhere you go they have to let you in with a mask on, and they check your temperature and they give you sanitizer to clean your hands. And so other than what I saw in France, Italy was still really strict on precautions. And also you can definitely see that there's definitely less people, because for me Rome was so a place so much with so many people, like filled with so many tourists or whatever, but right now there's so little people and it's actually really pleasant. But I mean, they must be suffering from like the coronavirus side effects of like so much drop down in like tourism, and you know that must be a really tough for a lot of people who are like depending their life on it. But at the same time, for me as a visitor, like it's kind of the perfect time, as long as I be careful. Anyway, so that big building, they saw me that I was pregnant and they let me go up on an elevator, and we arrived at the most magnificent view on an elevator, and it was so great. And so all those really great monuments are accessible on foot from this location where my apartment is situated, like at least in 10 minutes or maximum 30 minutes. And I'm super happy about the location, where it is, the fact that it's a little secluded from all that like really busy and like loud area, versus like so much accessibility to all these things that I would love to go to. So location is perfect. Now second, I want to talk to you about actually the apartment. So as you can see, there are plenty of lights, and this building must be very old, because when you are entering the building, there is, up until the very front door of this apartment, 4 doors, and throughout the 3 doors you can definitely see it's like the most ancient kind of building you could ever find in Rome, because the type of door, the type of like door locks and the keys, they're like ancient, and like you need to have the keys. Like if you ever get locked out without the key, then I think you're just like fucked. So it is definitely an old building where they must have renovated the whole unit. And I must say, like, their type of renovation is so well done, because they've kept all these like really pretty aesthetics from like the old building into like the new modern like system that they could put in. And so it is actually really tiny. I would say it's about like maximum 30 square meters, I think, actually. So it's really tiny, but it is compact with everything that you need. So where I'm sitting right now, this is the living room, and there is plenty of light, which is I think the thing that got me, and I was like, I have to film in here. This is perfect. And so there's a little sofa, and there's this really cute like sort of coffee table next to it, and they've kept all these like nice drawings and like paintings of the old Rome, which gives you that vibe of you being in Rome, but at the comfort of your home. And then there is a huge cabinet filled with all the dishes and cutlery that you need in order to eat, but also there's like a vintage decoration going on. And so I've already made myself at home and like sort of put my makeup stuff out there and do my makeup looking at the vintage makeup mirror. It's not a makeup mirror, but it's a mirror on the wall. But it just gives me that vibe, like I feel pretty. Like, I don't know, with the vintage mirrors, I just feel pretty. And then there is a huge window where actually the curtain is doing a lot of work, but they have kept the details from this popular design of like coffee table. I'm pretty sure these type of chairs were like really popular like a couple of years ago. I even had one of these back in my apartment in Seoul, and it was actually like a French brand, but it's got that like sort of old Renaissance design of the chair, but kept it in plastic, and so it's super practical, but you still have that form of like the old vintage style kept in a modern material, which really matches with this apartment. And then you move to the back of the house, and there is the bedroom. And the door, the sliding door, must have been like renovated by somebody who hand painted the door, because it is a sliding door which gives a lot of room to the rest of the apartment, because you don't like waste so much room for having a door that opens like, you know, front and back. But also like the design of that door is so pretty. And so I'm actually going to film another video using that door, but that door is so pretty. And then inside the bedroom, you feel kind of cozy. You have a huge window that opens up to the back of the building, and you get a lot of sunlight in the morning, but at night, like you feel like you are in your chamber of like sleeping. And I've been like sleeping really well. And they've kept like an antique deskware where you can open up the desk and kind of work there. And so it's like all these small little details that makes you feel like you're in like a Roman home, but it's been modernized, but not in a way that it's like you don't want to be, like you want to be in here. And the fact that it's so well lit is so perfect. And then for the rest of the house, there's a tiny little kitchen and a tiny little bathroom, but it's actually got all the things that you need. So I understand that like the apartment must have been done for the purpose of like renting it out as Airbnb. But if you are a single person, then I think this apartment is complete and you could definitely live here. And I would definitely live here if I were to come back to Rome. And so I am in love with my 1 week apartment. Lastly, because this is an apartment tour, I do want to give you some more practical information, and I am going to talk about the rent. So I took the privilege of knowing the owner of the apartment who rented it to us, and I asked him the rent. And bear in mind, we are in the capital of Italy, which is Rome. And like I mentioned to you in terms of the location, this is really like the heart of Rome. Actually, for people who are actually like Italians living in Rome, maybe it is the heart of Rome, but it probably isn't where they want to live. But in terms of like location offered to probably an expatriate or somebody who wants to stay here for short term, as in like a couple of months, just to be able to like work remotely and sort of stay in that area, it is definitely the center of Rome. And for this type of apartment where you have 1 bedroom, a living room, a small little kitchen, and a bathroom on a really like old but renovated apartment with the tiniest elevator, but with an elevator, which counts a lot, by the way, for all these really old European buildings, it is very important. The rent for this apartment of about 30 square meters is 1,300 euros, which would be around 1,400 or $1,450 for 1 month. And like I said, bearing in mind that it's in the center of Rome and it is 1-bedroom apartment at the end of the day, and so less than 1,500 for this apartment, I think it's definitely a bargain. I don't know if you guys have checked out my French apartment tour. If you haven't, it's right here on the link. But where I'm staying right now in France is actually not in Paris, it's actually in Marseille. And Marseille, it's like the second largest city in France, and so I wouldn't say like they have the cheapest rent, but they definitely have a lower rent situation going on than what is offered in Paris. So where I live, I have a lot more space and I have a much bigger space, and my rent is not even 1,000 euros, which is like a bargain for all of my friends who are in New York. And given the aesthetics and given the lighting and given the beauty of that like whole apartment, all of my New York friends are so jealous. But I guess overall, like in Europe, the cost of things are lower than New York. Obviously, New York is like one of the most expensive cities to live in. But at the same time, I feel like how much you can gain in terms of like salary and like overall, like your income is higher than the standard of income that you can get in Europe. And so it does make sense that even if you have all these like really beautiful things surrounding you, they could cost less. But at the same time, they're not modern, they're not new, they've been renovated. So I think there are definitely pros and cons. But if you are somebody who is able to work remotely, you are a digital nomad, or you do have a lot of vacations on your hand and you can move out from like New York City for a short period of time, then I would always suggest like Europe is a really good place to just escape to, because first off, you definitely save so much cost. Second, you will get so much inspiration from all these different types of like beautiful things surrounding you. And third, it just freshens your mind, right? And so that's the end of today's video. I really hope you guys liked my today's Italian apartment tour, and let's see, maybe throughout this baby moon, where I will be moving from Rome, and then I'll be going to other cities if I can show you apartments or even hotels in other cities. So thank you so much, and I will continue with this journey. Have a great day, guys.